Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Essential Mental Healing, where I am your host, Candace Fleming. Today, I am joined by Janet Hale, a very, very frequent and reoccurring guest, as well as Tima Tucker, who is another frequent reoccurring guest. We're going to introduce ourselves a little bit, tell you a little bit about ourselves and about this podcast and what we intend to bring. So this is a place of comfort, a place of open and honest discussion. We'll dive into a lot of mental health topics, as well as discuss some very relevant topics. We may agree, we may cry, we may fuss, but through it all, we'll always be positive and have love. Please share your thoughts on this podcast. And in the end, if you want to be a guest, we'll leave some information for you to email us and let us know what you think and what you think you can bring to the podcast. So as your host, I am Candace Fleming. I am a graduate of Howard University, undergrad with my BFA. I am a grad of Wayne State University. I have my MBA with my concentration in accounting. I am an administration manager for a private practice. And I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I am fun. I enjoy learning, I enjoy talking, I enjoy sharing, I enjoy learning about the mental health experience and just being a very bright light and overall, I won't say healer, I'm not a healer, but I do enjoy that aspect of life and learning about it and all of its journeys. So I'd like to turn it over to Tima Tucker so that she can introduce herself. Go ahead, Tima. Who are you and what do you do?
Thank you so much, Candace, Ms. Fleming, for having this platform for us. I am Tima Tucker, state licensed clinical psychotherapist, holding an undergrad from Wayne State University, graduate from Wayne State University, and also finalizing a doctorate of philosophy and integrative medicine. So I'm really excited to share this platform with you as you bring so much joy to others' lives in just your energy. I think this is going to be a great way for all cultures to understand some of the basic information about healing and that journey that we all have to go through, no matter what level you're on, no matter where you are in your walk. So I'm just happy to be here and also the co-owner of Tuckerville Mental Health Services. So thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for joining.
You're
now
welcome.
We are going to introduce Janet Hale. Please tell us about yourself and what you do.
My name is Janet Hale, and I work in the human service field. I've been in the human service field for about more than 25 years. I got my undergraduate degree from Wayne State University. I got my master's degree from Eastern and Michigan University. I have always been connected. I've always believed in the power of healing. I love that we have this platform and that we bring our different experiences here and that we understand that there's more than one way to heal. I'm just glad to be here.
Thank you so much. So we want to share a little bit about some basics. So this episode 1, is just going to give you a little information about different forms of therapy, different guides, counselors, therapists, life coach. We know that you can choose either way to get through whatever situation you're going through. They are all excellent ways to get help. Or just to guide you on your journey through life. It doesn't have to be a major crisis for you to seek help or someone to just talk to get through something. Or it could be something very devastating and traumatic. Either way, there is no shame in talking to someone of any field to get through life, this thing we call life. As a clinical therapist, Tima, could you tell us a little bit about your credentials and what maybe you had to go through to get those, or what they mean, the background, and then we'll compare them to some of the other forms.
Most definitely. First and foremost, I would like to say social media is a platform that's allowing us to connect with professions on a different level. So just introducing some of the most recent ones in the social media world that has emerged, such as life coaching. Although it's been around for years, it has emerged through social media. And you do hear a lot of the younger generation speaking of life coaching. So just understanding that they're not able to diagnose, which is totally different, of course, from a clinical psychotherapist. A life coach is really someone that helps you obtain a certain goal or a certain event that you're trying to work through. It's not clinical. It is more, and you don't have to have the education behind it. Whereas with the clinical therapist, psychotherapist, psychologist, you're more in the medical field, you're diagnosing. So just to understand, if you are embarking on meeting or that journey with a life coach, understand their limitations, and they should be able to provide any disclosures, or if they see any behaviors that need to be a little bit, that goes a little deeper, they will refer you in the right direction. So life coaching is one that has embarked on social media really big, as well as spiritual life coaching. Whereas, most of the time they veer into crystals and healing entities, which can also be a different element for our generation. So understanding that as well. So it's two that right now are in the social media arena that is kind of heavy right now. So that was something I just felt like needed to be said.
I had life coaching before. I want to say about 8 weeks of life coaching. One thing that I personally enjoyed with the life coaching was the lack of focus on the problems. I enjoyed focusing on where I was presently and where I wanted to go. It took a lot of the strain off the negativity to me and brought a more positive approach to it, because I didn't have to think about what was more so than what will be. How about your intake on that, Janet?
Life coaching is something that I've seen become very popular. And having the understanding that to become a life coach, that the credentials you don't have to necessarily possess. And social media has brought it out there. However, I think that when we're dealing with mental illnesses and different things of that nature, that may be the least way to go. So when I was looking up, and a lot of it I kind of knew when we were doing our homework for this podcast, the psychotherapy and the therapist, I find to be probably most helpful. I also understand that there's a paradigm shift happening where we're dealing with trauma. We're focusing more on trauma, childhood trauma, and understanding and getting more into the root of things, and recognizing, at least from my understanding, that counseling is a partnership, not an I fix you type of deal.